How to perceive the glorious love of God. Because of the fall, man has lost the ability and skill to perceive God's love. Restoration is a process that must help us regain the ability, on a personal level, to perceive God's glorious love. It takes effort to regain that sensitivity. But even if we have difficulty, let us declare it in our prayers and communications with God. That is the first step. The fall separated God from man. Satan has cut us, with the false blood lineage, from love and a relationship with God. We don't know what it was like. We didn't feel it for so long, or perceive it in history, until the coming of Jesus. And then Satan has worked unceasingly in history, 24 hours a day in the lives of each of us, even through religion, to rumble our spiritual minds with wrong thoughts about God, which then result in emotions and actions, such as blaspheming God and not believing in His existence. Believing that we are nothing more than evolved monkeys, or rather a group of monkeys, because monkeys remained monkeys. Satan has worked unceasingly throughout history to make us develop resentment toward God, resentment in our making us feel sinful, unworthy, and that God was sending us to hell by ruthlessly judging us. Each of us has to find our own ability in building up a vessel of God's love in ourselves, but also find a right relationship with God that is positive, happy, and of gratitude, regardless of the good or bad situations in our lives, because let us remember that we suffer or things go wrong because of Satan, not God. This means being temples of God, that His Spirit lives in us. It means living and knowing His love personally, and having the same relationship with Him as we have with our physical father and mother. Assurance and confirmation for you of God's love comes from various directions in life, and your ability is to be able to recognize them. God Himself shouts His personal and individual love to us, but we are blind and deaf. Every moment of our lives contains hundreds of messages or manifestations of God. We just don't know how to recognize Him behind them. Every time we cry and invoke, "O God," He answers 100 times, "I am here for you. I love you and exist only for you." God loves us in a unique and unbelievable way, like the shepherd who cares for the lost sheep more than the other 99 safe, and looks for it all night long. But if we don't have the conscience and the ability to perceive Him and the humility to perceive Him in ourselves, we don't believe, and in the end, we lose faith, hope, and there, Satan, like an evil talking cricket, is there to confuse us and, like Eve, Adam and Cain, to do evil. He is there to give us energy, strength, motivation to break God's commandments, to live a life of our own without Him, even though God has told us not to do so, through Jesus and personally. He makes us realize this 100 times a day. But we could never live a life completely on our own, because Satan, once he has succeeded in separating us from God and denying his existence in our lives, will not waste a single moment in trying to make us spiritual monsters, and in heart and love, and unfortunately, many times, physically, socially, humanly as well.